So for this part of the critical issue debate, my position on whether special needs students should be mainstreamed into the regular education classrooms is that they should not be included. There should be no inclusion, and there's a lot of information that I found in regards to that and that supports that, and a lot of research that I found. Basically, the biggest part of the research that I found that was most interesting and most appropriate, I felt, was that inclusion leaves teachers without resources and training and other supports necessary to teach this population of students. Special needs students need a vast amount of support, a vast amount of one-on-one time, a vast amount of special resources that are just not available in regular mainstream classrooms. And if all these special needs students are included in regular mainstream classrooms, these supports are not going to be as readily available. I found a quote that states, "The disabled children are not getting appropriate specialized attention and care, and the regular students' education is disrupted constantly." And that's kind of something that I hadn't really thought about, the fact that not only are the special needs students not getting the care that they deserve and the right to the equal education that they deserve, but the students who are not special needs students are getting these disruptions. You never know what kind of behaviors are coming along with the special needs, and mainstream students, depending on their age, they might not understand that fully and they might not comprehend it, and it can just lead to a lot of classroom disruptions that really are disruptive for everyone, and the learning that should be taking place is not taking place. Inclusion does not make sense in light of pressures from state legislatures and the public at large to develop higher academic standards and to improve the academic achievement of students. Basically, there's so much pressure put upon standardized testing in our states, and if they want all of our students to do well in these standardized tests, it's not fair to expect special needs students to be taking the same sort of tests that these students would be taking. By expanding the range of ability levels in the classroom through inclusion, teachers are required to direct inordinate attention to a few, thereby decreasing the amount of time and energy directed toward the rest of the class. The range of abilities is just too great for one teacher to adequately teach, and consequently, this mandates for a greater academic accountability and achievement, and they're unable to be met. So basically, teachers are kind of stretched too thin. I feel like if there was inclusion, and this research shows that if there was inclusion, the teacher would have to not only control these behaviors with special needs students, but the normal behaviors of mainstream students, and it would just be too much. There would be so much focus on just behavior management that not enough teaching would be taking place, not enough instruction and learning. There would be a lot of distractions for both populations of students. I found this interesting. I found a poll that was conducted by the American Federation of Teachers, AFT, in West Virginia, and it revealed that 78% of respondents think disabled children won't benefit from inclusion, and 87% said the other students wouldn't benefit either. I found that when inclusion efforts fail, it is frequently due to a lack of inappropriate training for teachers in mainstream classrooms, ignorance about inclusion among administrators, and a general lack of funding for resources and training. Basically, a lot of the reason why inclusion is not appropriate for special needs students is because not all teachers have the trainings and the resources available to teach these students. It is important that if you're teaching special needs students, that you're teaching them developmentally appropriate techniques and things that they need to know and things that they'll be able to understand. And a lot of teachers are not trained in those, and so it's just not appropriate for special needs students to be mainstreamed in that sense. A lot of times, moving toward more inclusive approaches are often more of a budgetary and cost-saving measure than out of a concern for what is really best for the students, and that's the scary part of inclusion. Is now it's definitely more focused on what's going to save our school's money and what's going to be best financially for our schools when it should be what is best for the kids. We are concerned that with the shift of primary responsibility for education of these children from special education teachers to regular classroom teachers, there will be a loss of advocacy. By dispersing children with special needs across the school campus and district, services and resources will be diluted and programming will be watered down. And that's another aspect that I found in my research that I hadn't really thought about, is the fact that these services that students are receiving, if special needs students were now mainstreamed and those supports were still there, it would be a lot less one-on-one. It would be maybe like 20 minutes a day, if that they were getting these extra services that they really need and that are vital for their development. So it's just another aspect of why mainstreaming is not the option for special needs students. It's not the best option for not only them, it's not the best option for the other students that, need the regular education without all these disruptions. And the special needs students need that one-on-one attention and need, the small group all day, and they need that from the teacher. They're not at the cognitive level as regular mainstream students. So again, my viewpoint is that inclusion is not appropriate for special needs students. Thank you.